Hey everyone! I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm so grateful that you're listening, subscribing, and commenting. I really appreciate the support. In this one, I wanted to speak to you a little bit about anxiety and how I've noticed a lot more posts coming out on social media and Instagram in general about anxiety. And I believe that it's because speaking about anxiety or having anxiety, not only is it becoming more common, obviously, because of all the different things that we're dealing with, the world is kind of going crazy right now. And so we're kind of dealing with a lot of things that cause anxiety, perhaps, but also I feel like it is becoming more and more common and it's becoming all right, normal to talk about anxiety. It's not something that's taboo anymore. You don't have to worry about talking about it because a lot of times I found in the past that most people wanted to be perceived as perfect. I think that's kind of common right now as well. Most people want to be perceived as perfect, that everything's fine, everything's great. Yeah, I'm all right. The house might be burning down behind them, but they're like, no, maybe it's just what the universe wants from me. Or like, they try to downplay it and they make it seem as if they are not affected by anything, even though their heart is beating very fast and their body is telling them something completely different. That's why I always tell you guys to follow your body's intelligence rather than what your mind is telling you, because your mind has a tendency of making up stuff and your body doesn't do that because your body's not capable of lying to you. A lot of times I'll be sitting there, something's happened and I'm like, yeah, everything's okay. And I notice that my jaw is clenched up or I notice that my shoulders are hunched up. And so my body is obviously in anxiety mode and obviously that means my mind is as well. But my story that I'm telling myself is everything is okay. It's fine. Nothing to worry about. Calm down, everyone, right? And so that's the reason why I think nowadays it's okay with a lot of the different authors and celebrities and other people speaking about anxiety or about their bipolar disorder or about things that are affecting them mentally. It's becoming more and more common and all right to speak about these things and all right to share it with your friends and family and all right to say, yeah, I'm not doing perfect. I feel anxiety right now or I'm feeling weird right now and I want to share it with the world, right? And so it's becoming a little bit more common, more all right. It's more acceptable. It's not politically incorrect anymore. So people are doing it, which is great. But it's actually really showing me as an INFJ, as a person with anxiety and a person with social anxiety in the past, a lot less now, but still a lot more than a lot of people. And so I noticed a lot of posts that really resonate with me that I had no idea even applied to me because I had no idea I was actually doing that with relation to anxiety. I just assumed it was my personality quirk, but it's actually related to anxiety. One of those posts that I recently shared on my Instagram, on my Boomshika and INFJ Instagram, was really in relation to anxiety. And it said something like, this individual likes watching shows that they've already watched because they know how it's going to end. And that means that they're not going to have to spend 3 hours or 2.5 hours or an hour and a half, whatever the length of the show might be or the movie, spending it, feeling anxious about how this is going to end. And so those days when they just want to chill out, just relax, and they don't want to feel anxiety, they'll just rewatch shows they've already watched so they know exactly how it ends, and then they can just relax and let go and just enjoy the show rather than worrying about, oh my God, are they going to get together? Or, will she die at the end? Or is he going to die? Or is she, so all that stuff. And instead of wanting to feel that anxiety, instead of wanting to be pervaded by the anxiety the whole time and not being able to enjoy the show, not being able to enjoy the movie, they just rewatch stuff they've already watched. And that kind of gives them a little bit of peace, a little bit of solace. They don't have to worry about it too much. They don't have to be anxious the whole time. They can actually, as I said, relax, chill out, and actually enjoy the show. I thought this was actually very poignant and extremely important because what we need to realize as individuals is that we need to be all right with doing these things to assuage or to make ourselves feel better, to assuage our anxiety. It's okay to do things like this in order to make yourself feel better and not feel anxiety. A lot of times what I did in the past as well a lot is that I would think that I was being an idiot or I would call myself names. I would call myself weak or mentally weak or things like that, and I would say, be stronger than that. You can do it. Stop being such a girly girl. You can, stop doing this or that. Stop, making things up. It's okay. You're not going to feel anxiety. Just go along with whatever everyone else is doing, right? And in a lot of cases, what that meant was doing things that were in opposition or that would make my anxiety much, much higher in general. Like it would really aggravate it, exacerbate it, and make it much worse than actually it needs to be or could be. So that I would come back home absolutely frazzled, exhausted from all the anxiety I'd been feeling all day long, and I wouldn't be able to function normally until I calmed myself down by doing a bunch of self-care stuff. Now, at first, I thought that there was something wrong with me because everyone else doesn't or didn't seem to be feeling that way. They didn't seem to be dealing with that particular kind of anxiety. They didn't seem to be dealing with that kind of need to do self-care in order to recuperate themselves to come back to normal. And so I assumed, as always, that I always assumed this about myself, that there's something wrong with me and the way I'm dealing with things, and everyone else is dealing with it in a better way or a proper way. Now, of course, as I get older, I'm realizing, it's okay. It doesn't matter what everyone else is doing. That's the way they're doing it because it works for them. I have to realize that what works for me might be completely different, but it works for me, so that's how I have to do it, right? And so I've told you guys this before. A lot of times I don't actually watch TV anymore because, again, it's just way too much stimulation, way too much anxiety. It is extremely dehydrating. It's extremely, really actually bad for your nervous system, very stimulating. And a lot of times why people can't sleep at night, they have insomnia, is because they were watching something extremely stimulating on TV right before they fell asleep. And so their brain is just trying to process it all, and it's not able to calm itself down. It's not able to switch off the sympathetic nervous system and get back to parasympathetic. And so a lot of times I just cannot. It's just way too noisy for me, way too much information, way too much, it requires way too much processing power. Images are switching back and forth. There's so much light and movement and shouting and swearing and all that. And I'm just like, all right, no, I can't do it. So I don't actually watch TV anymore. I don't watch TV shows, or if I do, I mean, it's rare, like maybe once a month I'll watch something because my sister's there and let's watch something together. But it's usually shows that I already know how they're going to start, how they're going to end, and there's not a lot of anxiety associated with it because I really don't want to add that level of anxiety or that level of stimulation into my life. Now, of course, what this means is that whenever my family, friends, acquaintances, partner wanted to go to watch a movie, because that's something that people do a lot, or they want to watch a TV show, it usually meant that I would have to say no. No, I'm not going to do it because I'm not interested. I don't like it. I don't like movies. And in that case, a lot of times I would come across as the weird one, as the quirky one, as the one that is odd. Why would you not watch TV? Why don't you watch this? Why don't you watch TV shows? Or why don't you do this or that? And in fact, a lot of times I would think, yeah, maybe there's something wrong with me. Everyone else seems to be all right with it. Why can't I just do it as well? And this is the thing that I wanted to really talk about, is that a lot of times we do this to ourselves as anxious people or as INFJs or whatever it might be, whoever you are. We'll sit there and say, okay, I'm doing this way, but everyone else seems to be doing it that way. Obviously, there's something wrong with me. And that obvious logical conclusion is not obvious, and it's not logical, and it's actually false. Because again, we are all very different creatures from each other, and a lot of times we feel a lot of pressure as individuals to kind of emulate or follow the crowd, to follow what everyone else is doing. Just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean it's right for you. But this is something that it takes a long time for us to understand. It's taking me a long time to understand it for myself. And I noticed that a lot of times, even now, I'll have this FOMO effect, or I'll have this fear that I'm missing out, or fear that I'm not doing things right, fear that I should just go along with the crowd, fear that if I don't go along with the crowd, then I'm going to lose all my friendships or my relationships. I'm going to be all by myself, things like that. And so constantly, daily almost, I have to remind myself that I'm doing this not because I'm trying to fit into some mold or I'm trying to make friends or things like that, but I'm doing it because I needed to, for my own mental sanity. Because if I don't do it the way I'm doing it right now, if I don't take care of my nervous system and my body and self-care routines and things like that, then I'm literally going to exhaust myself into burnout mode and not be able to function like a normal human being anymore. No wonder a lot of people who have anxiety like to stay at home all the time and have maybe mild to severe forms of agoraphobia where they're unable to even go outside because they have frazzled themselves and burnt themselves out so many times. They've kind of done this to themselves over and over again to a point where their nervous system is like, no, I can't go outside anymore. I'm not going to go and stimulate myself anymore. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. And they just have to stay at home because anytime they even try to step outside their door, their nervous system just like pipes up and gets overstimulated and over anxious. If we could just kind of make sure every single day to take care of ourselves in the proper way and not berate ourselves, not put ourselves down for what we need, then perhaps we'd be able to do it in a better format. I believe, at least that's the way I think. As I said, a lot of us do it the opposite way, where someone else is doing things the way that we're not doing, and we imagine always that that's the right way and we're doing it the wrong way. Why does it have to be like that? Why can't we be doing the right thing for us and they're doing the right thing for them? And it might be opposite, but that's the way it is. We're all different from each other and we need different things in order to feel stimulated, in order to feel grounded, in order to feel good about ourselves, in order to keep on going in this world, right? And so I really wanted to do this video because I thought it was funny, obviously, that, I rewatch the same show so that I don't feel anxiety. But also I thought there was a lesson here that I wanted to share with you, and I hope that I was able to get it across to you. If you have any questions about this, please message or comment below and I shall do a follow-up video on it. If you guys have anxiety as well and you do weird, quirky things to make sure that your anxiety levels are low, I'd love to hear from you because I'm always looking for more techniques for myself. Again, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and I shall see you guys the next time around. Bye for now.